Alright guys, welcome back. Chris here, Warcraft 24/7, and we're back with our part 2, Trade Skill Master, getting back to the basics. We're going to pick up kind of where we left off with a little minor change. I did something for you guys this past week, put together some information as far as groups go, put some stuff together for you, and I want to show you what it did for you. And of course, all this will be available in our Discord channel. You'll find the link in the description below, but if you join our Discord channel, you will be able to import these groups into your setup. So let's jump into Trade Skill Master here and go to groups. All right, as you can see on the left-hand side here, let's really blow this up just a little bit more because we're going to need it. As you can see here on the left-hand side under vendor groups, I have added a subcategory called Dungeons. And under Dungeons, I have included every expansion that we have been to date. That goes all the way from Vanilla, Burning Crusade, Wrath, all the way to Dragonflight. So as you can see, I've got all those in. This is basically the exact same setup we left you with last week after making groups, but I went ahead and I replaced the dungeons, the generic dungeon groups, with specific groups per expansion. So I broke it out into expansion, and then I broke it out into each individual dungeon. And this is for our vendor trash. This isn't for, you can use this for other things as far as if you want to break down even more as far as what comes from what place, you can use this, but this is really set up for just strictly our vendor trash, the stuff we're going to sell. And I'm going to show you why here in just a second, because some of these, if you'll go into like Razorfin Crawl, I've already got the items filled out for you. These are all the soulbound items that you're going to pick up in Razorfin Crawl that you're just going to want to sell, unless you're an enchanter. If you're an enchanter, you're going to want to disenchant these most of the time. But for our purposes of vendor trash, these are going to be things that we're going to just simply sell. Whenever we pick them up, we're going to vendor all this at the end of the run. All right, so I got some of those filled in for you. Not all of them. Some of them are empty. But I will be updating these groups as we go. And that will be in, for a limited time, that's going to be in our Discord. So you guys will be able to jump over there, join the Discord, and download this group. And I'll show you how to import here in just a few minutes. I will show you how we're going to import groups into Trade Skill Master. It's very simple. But what I wanted to show you tonight, and in this video, part 2, was continuing our idea of groups and getting everything together for our vendor trash. I'm going to bring your attention to this pane right here, the ungrouped items versus what's in our bag. If you'll notice, the Fang of Adderog is not in our group. It is an ungrouped item, true, but it is not in our bag. And the reason for that is Trade Skill Master typically does not show the soulbound items that you pick up from dungeons. But I'm going to show you how to get those items into your groups so we can vendor them, just like we did here with the items for Razorfin Crawl. So we're going to go first, we're going to go all the way up to base group. This is important. You got to go all the way up to the base group, the top group. All right. And there, you're going to click in this search bar. It says search items. Come over to your bag and then shift left click on the item, and it's going to bring up a search, and it's going to find all the different item levels for this Fang that it drops on, and you're going to select every one of them. All right, you're going to select all those. You're going to come down to the bottom of the screen under select group. You're going to click the plus sign, and you're going to if you're using my groups, if you're using this setup, you're going to come down here to Rage Fire Chasm. English is hard tonight. You're going to click on that. You're going to select group. Move 4 items. Now if we come back here to the main group, Ragefire Chasm, you'll see that the Fang is in there. And the reason it's got 4 different groups is because it drops at different levels, different stats, and you want to be able to include every one of those. Because depending on what level you're farming at, you may get a different item. So we're going to go back to our base group. We're going to come over here, and we got this belt. Of course, all the things, if you look at the tooltip, all the things will tell you that this is from a dungeon or raid, it's from Ragefire Chasm, and what boss it drops off of. So once again, we're going to go to search item, shift left click, click all those. Now if you notice, if you've already done this once, the second time your group is still highlighted in the bottom. So if you need to change that group, you need to do that in between the items. If not, if everything is from Ragefire Chasm, you're going to simply move 4 items. Alright, then we're going to go back up here in the top, click on the left click on the name, it'll be highlighted. You'll see how everything gets highlighted. You're going to go back, you're going to find the next item that's soulbound that drops from Ragefire Chasm, which is the Grass of the Broken Totem. Shift left click, it replaces it. We're going to highlight all those, and we're going to move those 4 items. And we're going to go and we're going to do the same thing for every one of our soulbound items that come from Ragefire Chasm. Alright. Now, of course, this doesn't work if you're want to do your leveling tunes and all that, because you may want to keep these items. So that's why we set up different settings, different groups for all the different characters we're going to run with. We're going to have a bank setting. We're going to have a farmer setting, and if just a general setting if we're going to be playing just a general character. Alright, we got a couple more. We're going to add those over. It's the same item, so we should be good. It should have collected it already. It did. Great. Alright, so now we go back over here to vanilla. Close our bags. Dungeons, vanilla, Ragefire Chasm. You will now see all the blue items that are soulbound that we pick up. Now you may have to do this a couple times. If you're doing this yourself, you may have to do this a couple times until you pick up all the blue items that drop within the dungeon. All the soulbound items. But after several runs, you're going to know, that you got everything. And it'll be a complete group you won't have to mess with anymore. Going through, finding those items in your bag and trying to sell them off. We're going to show you how to do it. Simple and easy. All in one operation. So I hope that has helped you guys with setting up groups. Now, what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to export this group. I'm going to show you how to do that. That includes all of our dungeons, all our expansions. Everything is already labeled for you. I'm going to show you how to export that. You're going to simply highlight vendor trash. That's our group. Alright, we're going to go over here to the right side of TSM, and we're going to export this group. Alright, now you can see it has 136 subgroups. Now what I'm going to do, because I'm not exporting operations, I just want these groups because I don't want to overwrite your guys' operations. If you want to use these groups, we're going to exclude operations. Alright, and we're also excluding custom price source. Of course, it grays out if we exclude operations. We don't have to worry about that. So now we have this string, this export string right here. So what you'll do, you will take and you will highlight this string. Control C will copy that string. And I'm going to paste that in the Discord. So look for that in our Discord. Link is in below. You will go to, under the members tab, you will go to TSM groups. You will see that this string is there that you can import. And it'll be ready for you. Now, So I've taken this string, I've copied this string, I've pasted it wherever I needed to paste it for whoever wants to use it. All right, now I'm going to show you how to import that string. All right, so we're going to go to settings. We're going to create a new profile. This is just a temp profile. All right, we're going to jump over here to temp profile. You notice we have no groups. We have nothing in there because it's a brand new profile. I showed you guys how to set up profiles last time. It's real simple. You just go to settings, create a profile, and it starts, select which profile you want to use, and that's what the groups you're going to use. That's where we're going to set up, if you want your farmer to have a profile, if you want your banker to have a profile, different characters have different profiles, and that's where we'll set that up. But here we are in the base group. We don't have anything. We have no group selected. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to come over and right at the top of the screen, you're going to see a little down arrow that says import groups. All right, you're going to click that, and it's going to ask you for an import string. Now what you're going to do, you're going to control V, and you're going to paste that import string, and it's going to show you that you're importing 137 groups, vendor trash, and it's going to show you everything that you're importing. Now, if you don't want to import something, all right, so you don't want to import the Dragonflight stuff, you simply just click it off. Now you're only importing 127 groups. But say you want to import everything, there it is. We're going to import, and just like that, it fills in for us. Here's our vendor trash, dungeons, everything broke down, vanilla, Burning Crusade, Wrath, Cataclysm. So we got everything broke down for us. Now, here's the cool part, too. Part of importing this string. You can come to vanilla, Ragefire Chasm. There's your items that I've already put in here for you. So you got access to those. Very simple, very easy. A quick way to get your TSM set up with groups very quickly. Now, what I'll be doing as over the next little bit, I'll be running farms on all these dungeons because I want to put together a spreadsheet for you guys to show you kind of what you can expect from each dungeon as far as raw gold for running the dungeon. What we'll do is I'll run 5 or 10 instances of that dungeon, figure out how much raw gold we get just from the drops, the gold drops, and the trash that we get from the mobs, and what that sells. Okay, and that'll give you a base idea of what you can expect to get out of that dungeon as you run per average. And then I'll also break down what we have as far as item drops and kind of what those are worth that you can sell on the auction house. And I'm going to put all that in a spreadsheet. I already have it started, and it'll be broken down, by all the different dungeons, and we'll have that in a spreadsheet, and that is going to be available on our Discord channel as well. But that is going to be under the supporter tab, where that's going to be a little extra section for you guys that support us that gives you access to things. You're showing your support, we're trying to give back. And we'll talk more about that as it gets set up as far as in the Discord and everything. But right now, just know that we're going to get this stuff set up for you so you'll be able to have some information, because information is key. All right, so, hey, you're thinking to yourself, great, I got all these groups, I got all these items, but what is it doing? Because, I can go to my vendor, I can click on my vendor, and hit sell groups, and nothing happens. It's because we have not put any operations to it yet, and that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to set up the vendor operation. And while we're here, I want to bring your attention to this little toggle tab right here. This is WoW UI. Now, when you click that WoW UI, that's going to switch you back to the default WoW interface. Turns into another toggle that says TSM4. So you can toggle back and forth how you want to receive your data. Now, myself, I tend to keep it on the WoW UI unless I'm doing specific things like selling, vendor trash, or auctioning. Sometimes mailbox. It depends on what I'm doing with the mailbox. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to set up a vendor operation, and let's go back into TSM. All right, operations. As you can see now, there's a default operation in here for vendoring. TSM comes with all these default operations. I would suggest you don't use any of these, okay? Just don't. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit the trash can and get rid of it. So now under vendoring operations, we don't have anything. We're going to create an operation. We're going to name this trash, because that's what it is vendor trash. I mean, we can even go so far as to call it vendor trash. Alright, we're going to rename that. Alright, now let's go through the settings real quick. Buy operation is turned off. We do not want to be buying vendor trash. Pretty simple, right? So we turn that off. Sell operation, enable selling, yes. Keep quantity. Alright, we want to keep this at 0. We don't want to keep any of the vendor trash. There's no reason to keep it. This is stuff we're going to sell, so we want to keep that at 0. Minimum number of expires. Now, this is default to 20. We want to change it to 0, because these items that are going to be listed under vendor trash are never going to show up on the auction house. We're never going to be posting these items on the auction house, so we don't need to worry about how many times they've expired. Okay, so we want to make that to 0. That means it ignores the expirations on the auction house. Market value, we don't care about any of this. Okay, that we just leave it. DB market, 0 copper. Destroy value, 0 copper. All that is fine. Okay, 0 copper disables it. So we're going to leave that alone. Sell, this is important, sell soulbound items. Yes, we want to make sure we click that to yes. Otherwise, those items that we added that are soulbound from the groups will not get added to the sell. They'll simply sit in our bag. Alright, so that's our sell operations. Management options. So this is where we can ignore certain factions. We can ignore certain characters. This is a little more advanced than what you guys want to get into right now. We're simply going to use it for vendor trash, because the way we set our TSM up, this isn't really necessary. But you could come in here, pick a character that you don't want to have this operation apply to, select them, add them to the list, and it'll ignore this operation on that character. Alright. This is the important part right here. Group management. Here, this is where we're going to add or remove groups that this operation is attached to. So we need to add an operation to a group. We're going to click the plus sign, and we want this operation to affect every one of these vendor groups. So we don't want to go through and select each individual one altogether. We just want to come to the top, vendor trash. Everything gets highlighted. Select. This operation is now applied to every one of these groups. Okay? We're going to close this out. Open our vendor. TSM vendor. We're going to sell. So you got different tabs at the top. You got buy, sell, buy back. But we're interested in the groups tab on the far right. And we want to make sure that we have vendor trash highlighted, and that it highlights every one of these dungeons that we have stored in here. Alright, and we can expand this as far as we need to see to make sure, but typically it's going to have everything highlighted, and we just simply sell groups. And if you notice, our soulbound items, they're gone. We're going to look at buyback. Here's what we just sold. We sold some gray trash that we had in our bag, plus we sold all these soulbound items just that quickly. We didn't have to worry about, going back through one by one, searching our bag, finding it, because after you run a bunch of farms, you're not going to want to go back through and try to hunt and peck through your bags to find everything. This way you can simply come to groups, hit the sell groups option, everything is gone out of your bag. That simple. That is the vendor operation. It's a very simple operation, but it's an important operation, especially, you know, if you're going to be gold farming, if you're going to be running dungeons over and over again, you're going to want to have this operation set up, because it's going to save you so much time versus going through your bag and clicking everything individually. So I hope this video helped you guys tonight. Like I said, we went through on the groups, showed you guys how to do the groups, we showed you guys how to do the operation, showed you how to set that up. You know, it's pretty simple. Now, one thing is, if I wanted to export this operation, okay? If I wanted to export this operation so you guys would already have it, I would have to go back into my groups. I would have to click here, you know, to select all my groups. I would have to go to export again, and I would have to leave that operation available. That way, if I don't exclude that operation, that way it is embedded in this code and you would get that operation with it. Like I said, I don't do that because I want you guys to get your set your operations up yourself, because they are very personal. You want to be able to set those up for yourself how you like them. Anyway guys, just a quick video, part 2 of getting back to basics. Next time we are going to jump into things like mailbox operations, you know, auctioning operations, may touch a little bit on the warehouse and shopping operations, along with the crafting operations. There's a bunch of things to go into in operations when we get there. But what I wanted to bring to you guys tonight was the advanced groups that I have set up for you, the ability to get those and import those in Discord. Because you can, and not just mine, you can go to TSM groups. You can go to the TSM website. There are a ton of groups that people have put out there. You can import all kinds of groups into your Discord. And I wanted to show you guys how to do that. So not only will you be able to, now you know how to import and export groups, you also know about the vendoring operation. That's going to save you a lot of time. And I want to thank you guys again for tuning in, watching the video. Thank you again for all your support. Find us on Discord, ask us questions, post in chat, tell us what you want to see, tell us what you need to know. We're here for you. We want to be a resource. We're not like every other channel that's just regurgitating the same information over and over again. We're trying to make you better players, teach you how to be better at using the game, and we want to try to build a community of people that actually, you know, want to help each other. And that's kind of what we're doing. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is Chris signing off for Warcraft 24/7.